Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. I am here. Gabriel Redden is here. Robert Mitchell is here. Justin Wright is here. Sonny Hepburn is here. And Alicia Finch is down there. Motion to approve the agenda?
I have a correction.
What's that?
I have a correction.
Yes.
On page 4 at the very bottom, Diamond Williams, it should say hire instead of resign.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda with the correction?
Second.
Hepburn. Second by Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
I heard her.
Yes.
Presentation regarding the proposed trustee area maps. Who wants, Ms. Gaines, want to take care of that?
Yes. Good evening. Is Attorney Pafford with us this evening?
She's up there.
Yes, Mark. Mark, do you want to go? Mark, would you like to lead us and begin this process of the presentation this evening?
Sure, we have on the line as well as Justin Levitt from NDC. He's the demographer who is going to walk through a PowerPoint presentation of the 3 maps that have been published so far. We also have Marguerite Leone, who is our expert attorney consultant on this matter, and will be here to assist the board and answer any questions regarding the maps and the legality of these maps. So with that, I would turn it over to Justin to go through his presentation, and then if there's any questions from the board or public members, we'll be able to address them at that point.
Good evening. Thank you for that introduction. My name is Dr. Justin Levitt with National Demographics, and it is a pleasure to be back here again to talk about the trustee area boundaries. I hope everybody can see my presentation. I know we also sent it along, so hopefully there are copies in the room as well. Tonight basically is the first of our 2 public hearings on the draft maps to allow us to look at and study the the maps, propose any changes to the draft maps for the next hearing, and really, start this second stage of the process where we're looking at maps and deciding which ones might serve the community best until the 2031 redistricting. After tonight, we have an opportunity to post revised maps for next week for the 17th. And following that, the board will make their final decision on January 14th. Once the board makes their final decision, the County Committee on School District Organization will hold a hearing on the board's preferred map, and the election boundaries would first be used in the November 2026 election. Following that, think of it as a rollout that the trustee areas would come into being over the course of the next 2 election cycles. And in 2028, the remaining seats will have their first election. Following that, in 2030, we'll be taking the new census. And in 2031, we'll have an opportunity to revisit these boundaries. Hopefully by then, the census will get a little bit better with some of its census geography, as I'll discuss when we look at the draft maps. To remind us, the criteria that we use in preparation of the maps now also become the criteria we use to evaluate the maps. So all of the maps you have before you tonight have approximately equal population. That is, the difference in population between the most populated and least populated trustee areas is under 10% of the total population of a trustee area. This satisfies the one person, one vote standard that the courts have laid out. In addition, as we'll talk about with the different options, we considered our protected class communities, groups that have historically faced discrimination or barriers to registration and voting. Race and ethnicity were not the primary considerations in the preparation of these maps. Well, they were part of one of many factors that factored into our understanding of the neighborhoods and communities of interest, as we'll look at in the draft maps. Similarly, as we move into our Fair Maps Act criteria, all of our trustee area boundaries are contiguous. That is, they have one outside boundary. Now we have some interesting census block geography in the community that limited some of the places where we could put block lines, but we ensured that we had that solid outside boundary for each of our trustee areas and each of the draft maps we prepared for tonight. Where the maps really differ is how they treat our neighborhoods and communities of interest. And this is really where we want the discussion to understand what's going to serve the community best over the next few years before the redistricting. We want to avoid division of neighborhoods or communities of interest, which the law says the socioeconomic and geographic areas that should be kept together for their effective and fair representation. As you'll see, we have 3 different approaches to that tonight. There possibly are more that we could bring back to you for future meetings. One thing we have also strived to do, it's not that hard, we only have one census designated place in our community. I say we have a little piece of another, but it's mostly one census designated place. And we've tried to keep that together, or at least in as few trustee areas as possible, though all 5 trustee areas will obviously have parts of Ridgecrest. Easily identifiable boundaries to the extent that we could follow those major roads or other roads to keep communities together and to follow, not divide our communities. We're trying to do that. And we think that all of our maps, once we take into account all the considerations above, don't bypass one group of people to get to a more distant group of people. Obviously, these are rank ordered, so if we're doing that because that's where the census block boundary is, or that's where the community or neighborhood is, that would be our priority. Finally, all of our maps have not considered partisan data or where the current board or any potential candidates reside. They were drawn blind to all of those factors. Other traditional districting principles like other local considerations, future school sites, future population growth, all of that can be taken into consideration, and particularly as a final test between 2 maps that we think do an equally good job according to all of our state and local criteria. So turning to the maps themselves, I want to highlight that in addition to the paper maps and the presentation tonight, we also have an interactive review map. I think those are invaluable for a district as large as this one because you can really zoom in and out, search for addresses, and even change the background, whether you want to see streets or aerial photography, to really understand where the boundaries are and compare the maps. Starting with the green map, I'll talk about a couple things in general. The colors on the map indicate where the trustee areas are. So the area in pink, for example, is trustee area 1. Broadly speaking, we've just numbered them from west to east. So these numbers are completely arbitrary. In addition to the paper maps, we also have full demographics for all of the trustee areas attached to the PDF of the maps online as well, if you would like to see a really detailed statistical analysis of any of the maps. All of our maps, starting with this one, have a majority Latino trustee area, and that's trustee area 4 in each of the maps. That kind of incorporates the area east of the freeway, kind of north of Rosamond Boulevard. That's where that trustee area is always centered. In this particular map, it kind of really emphasizes that area around the railroad tracks and Sierra Highway as kind of the street that brings that community together. In addition, each of our maps has an area with a substantial African American population, and that's going to be trustee area 5 in the southwestern portion of the district. While it's not a majority African American district, it is about 33% African American by citizen voting age population. And it varies a little bit from map to map, but it's always around 30 to 33% in every draft map we have tonight. Now I mentioned some of those interesting block problems, and I know that there was a lot of discussion at our first 2 hearings about using Rosamond Boulevard. And this map uses Rosamond Boulevard and the freeway as kind of our key dividing lines. Many of our census blocks are actually quite long and follow the border of these streets, especially the freeway, all the way from the northern end of the district down to Rosamond Boulevard, or from Rosamond Boulevard down to the south end of the district. And so we're kind of limited in some of our places on flexibility, but we've tried to show you some different options. What we can really see is that there has to be at least 2 trustee areas that are principally east of the freeway and 3 trustee areas that are principally west of the freeway. This map is the most quadrant-like of the different map options, really having 4 districts centered in Rosamond proper and a 5th trustee area 1, that includes that vast area to the west of the district. It really is important to note that that whole area west of Rosamond only has population for about a quarter of a trustee area. So a big area, very, very few residents living in that area. We can really compare this now to the orange map to see what something different might look like. So whereas Rosamond Boulevard served as a really large dividing line in that first map, in this map we've really tried to avoid using Rosamond as much as possible. So areas 1, 2, 3, and 5 all cross Rosamond Boulevard, whereas only areas 1, and that was kind of way to the west, and area 5 crossed in the previous map. This one also has more of a division of the neighborhood south of Rosamond Boulevard. I should note that 40th Street is not a census boundary. It's not a census block boundary yet. Hopefully in 2031 it will be, but the census blocks actually go all the way to 45th Street, south of Rosamond Boulevard. And so we've had to kind of keep that area together to avoid splitting that community. Lastly, the purple map, or third map we have to show you tonight, we wanted to offer you something a little bit different. As you can see, area 5 now comes farther north and kind of wraps around that eastern end of the district. And area 2 creates a district along the freeway, all the way from the north to the south, ignoring Rosamond Boulevard. One of the things several of these maps have tried to do is keep the 4 existing schools in 4 separate trustee areas. And so you can see in this map, for example, areas 1, 2, 3, and 4 each have a school site. That of course leaves area 5 in many of these maps as the trustee area without a school site. That's something we can talk about addressing in a future map as well. So I'm happy to go into any of those maps in more detail. Before I wrap up, I just want to say one thing about the sequence of elections. As part of the presentation of the maps, we are required to talk about the number of trustee areas that must hold election in which year. We're not saying that this is the final option. As you can see, we've just put 1, 3, and 5 in our year where we have to elect 3, and 2 and 4 in the year we have to elect 2 members of the board. These are just examples, and this will be changed after the board selects its final map. So think of this as something that we have to show legally now, but will change based on a number of factors after the board selects their final map. You'll have an opportunity to designate which trustee areas you would like to put up for election, as long as you put 3 trustee areas up for election in 26 and 2 in 2028. And so with that, I'm happy to address any questions or take any feedback in regards to any new maps you would like to see or revisions you would like to see. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, we left open to the public.
Justin, were you going to present a fourth option?
So, thank you, Marguerite, for bringing that up. In addition to these three map options, based on some of the commentary we've already received from the community, we did look into an alternative option. I'll show you it tonight. It can't be considered tonight fully, but if it's something that the board is interested in, we can bring it back next week for full discussion on the 17th. And that is the yellow map, as we've called it, just kind of continuing our color theme. Unlike the other maps, one of the things we were looking at doing is that fifth new school site along Holiday Avenue, and bringing trustee area 5 around the southern end of the district in order to get that potential location. In this particular map, what we've done is taken 3 across the freeway a little bit farther north between Rosamond and kind of the extension of Holiday and Mariel. Now, I'll say one other thing about this map. In area 2, as you can see, we've chosen to follow 40th. If the board would prefer using 40th all the way down to Holiday, we can take that area out to 45th as well. That doesn't affect the population numbers. The census actually counted very few residents west of 40th in the 2020 census, because a lot of that development has happened since then. So if you like this alternative, we can also make modifications in that area around 40th Street and Rosamond if you want to keep that part together, and that wouldn't affect the numbers. But this was something we put together, and we haven't released it publicly before tonight, but if it's something you're interested in, we can bring it back next week.
Dr. Levitt, I just have one question about this. So what this kind of buff-colored District 5 does is make it possible for each trustee area to have a school site in it, correct? Is that correct?
That's correct. And it doesn't affect either the African-American community in Area 5 or the other issues that we looked at in the other maps.
Okay, and then this map also kind of includes unincorporated, or what shall I say, rural areas in more trustee areas. So those large areas aren't the responsibility of just a few.
That's right. It also divides, as you mentioned, area 4 and 5 are divided all the way along Rosamond Boulevard to the eastern end of the district. So that is a little bit more of a rural divisions than in some of the other maps where area 4 is entirely in Rosamond.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask, there's a little triangle that's right above Holiday Avenue between, right at the bottom, yeah, right there, that little triangle. Is that a census area? Because the development in that triangle is to the south. And could that little triangle be pulled south?
Oh, I was briefly referencing this with some of the maps. The census block goes from 40th to 45th in the 2020 census. There's no continuation of actually 40th kind of curves down and doesn't go straight down to Holiday. Now, it is possible to move that entire block between 40th and 45th into trustee area 2. It doesn't affect the population because in 2020, the census counted, I think, just about 30 residents. That was it in that census block. So that could be moved into area 2.
Could it also be moved into area 5?
It could.
All right, because there's a distinction in the type of development that's to the east of 40th and the development there's no development to the west, but there is the streets are in place to the south. So in this map can have a lot of movement still, but the nice thing about it is it accounts for the new district that's coming, And some of these communities can be joined a little bit differently and better maybe than what we have here. But let me just, if I may, Superintendent, just talk about process on this map. Maps have to be posted 7 days before they can be considered at a public hearing. So technically, this map needs to be considered at the next public hearing because the public hasn't had a chance to examine it. There is no prohibition, however, about getting information out there early so that there will be data and considerations that can be brought forth at the next public hearing. My understanding, we don't have a sequence of elections on this yet, but Dr. Levitt, would you think it would be the same, at least preliminarily?
Yes, for all of our maps, our preliminary sequence is the same.
It's preliminary. And so just in anticipation, Dr. Levitt took to heart the desire to have facilities in each trustee area. And this just got posted today. So I think it's fair if the board would like to comment on it, but the public hearing on it will be at the next public hearing, which is the 17th. And then I also want to reiterate what Dr. Levitt said about the sequencing of the elections in these trustee areas. The adding a sequence when a map is posted is a legal requirement. That requirement is only that the sequencing be tentative. After the map is chosen, the board will reconsider that mandate, how the sequencing happens. And we'll be considering those at the end of the process, because in the beginning of the process, we cannot consider where the trustees live. But at the end of the process for the sequencing, we're required to consider where they live. So it's a little bit of a disconnect. I think for right now, if the public wishes to comment on the sequencing, that's totally permissible, realizing that this is only tentative. It's to comply with the law. And I do want to make one other comment before we get into discussing the lines, and it's on the sequencing once again. Remember that no matter what sequencing is chosen, nobody loses their seat on the board. So if you were elected in 2024 for a 4-year term, you will serve out that term, even though you may be in a trustee area where there is another trustee who's up for election sooner. So, but we'll be talking all about that in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to make sure you knew there was a fourth option.
Marguerite, I have a question, and I apologize because even though I'm sitting very close to the screen, I have no clue what the street. I think I can understand where the 14 freeway is, but can I hear from Dr. Levitt, please? May I assume that in area number 4, we have Roseman Elementary School there. Is that correct, Dr. Levitt?
Every map has Rosamond Elementary Area 4, yes.
Okay, so I'm talking about this yellow map right now, sir. So I have RES, yes. And so in area, I think it's area 3, the green area, may I assume, and I can't see the thing there, but I have Rare Earth Continuation High School, Abraham Lincoln Independent Study School, and do I also have Roseman High Early College Campus in Area 3.
Yes, Rosamond High is in area 3 in this map, yes.
So I have 3 schools in Area 3.
Yes.
Now,
We have
yes, and that's
6
because,
schools.
and I know 2 of them share a school site, at least are very close to each other. And they're all, 3 of them are in the same census block. And so those, I believe the continuation high, the Rosamond High and Independent Study all have more or less the same location. So it's not going to be possible to divide them into different areas.
No, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just trying to understand this yellow map a little more for
Sure.
questions down the road. And in Area 2, I have West Park Elementary School. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And then in Area 1, I have Tropico Middle School.
Yes.
So area 5 has no school.
Area 5 has no school.
As of the current school sites, no. Area 5 does not have a school.
Okay, but
The
and
idea would be that if there was a new school being proposed somewhere along Holiday, south of Holiday Avenue, that would be in Area 5 in this map.
And Dr. Levitt, one more question, and then hopefully I'll be finished. The western boundary of Area 5, which is extremely south of Rosamond Boulevard, what is that street running along that western boundary?
So this map takes it to 65th Street.
Okay.
That's flexible. If you would prefer another street, it could go as far as 70 or 75th without impacting the population deviation.
So I certainly understand what you're saying, that Area 5 could potentially be the site for the 3rd elementary school someday, possibly.
Correct.
Okay.
And south of Holiday, right? Holiday is the split from 5 and 1.
Yes.
65th is a dirt road.
I'm gonna go down to 60th. I've never been on 65th.
You can't.
Can't, okay. Lovely. Okay.
Superintendent, we're having a very hard time hearing.
I apologize. I was just asked a question about 65th, and I said I've never driven down 65th to my knowledge, and they said you can't. It's can't drive down it. So I've been down 60th. I go down 60th every day, but not 65th. So this gives me an idea, even though I know we are not designing maps to accommodate our current board members. At least it gives me an idea moving forward. If we were, hypothetically, which I know we're not, where my board members currently sit in these 5 districts.
Can we get a copy of this?
Can we definitely bring this back next Wednesday?
Okay.
Yellow's online now?
Just to reiterate, if your 60th is a road or something that is a more natural division line, Area 5 could end at 50th or at 60th, I mean, if that would be preferable.
Well, that, from here, I can't see where the divisions are. That's why I wanted to get a real map so we could see, because they're, 65th is not it's a dirt road that has a lot of sections that don't exist.
Yeah.
We don't care if it goes to 65th.
Well, no, I know, I'm just saying, and Holiday, is a actual road, but there's a whole bunch that is not paved. But it makes kind of sense of that division. Just, I think we need, I would like to see that map to help get more natural boundaries for better. And I know the populations in the section 1 and section 5 are very sparse. So I know moving some of the lines a little bit to get more natural boundaries is not going to make a difference as far as population and ethnic background or anything like that.
What is your suggestion on the boundary between 5 and 1? What's your best suggestion there?
Well, I would not end it at 65th. I would definitely.
Sorry, I'm gonna try to
Okay,
print some
make
out.
it larger. Thank you.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Not yellow. No, they're just hiding. I'm gonna go print you
Okay.
a copy.
Thank you.
Just printed it up so we can get it and have a little better look. Because on the screen, from here, I can't see any of
Even
that.
though it's 65th, it doesn't even come into place until it reaches holiday.
Well, see, I know that if the holiday division
But
to
it's going-
65th, there's probably 10 houses in that area. And that's
Right,
about it.
but that area 5 though is going all the way across to the east side of town anyway. You see,
Right.
it's covering all that area.
But
I
there-
get it. I see what you're saying though. It's like, hey, 65th Street isn't like a legit street that anyone's traveling down.
Right. And then there's only a couple of houses, and I can't tell where the boundary is. I think Avenue A would be the bottom of that map.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a small group right there by the freeway. And then there is almost nothing from the freeway to 60th. There might be 20 homes in that area. And then there is yeah. And then there's a small group of houses that are about, I guess it would be 10th or 15th Street and Avenue A on a dirt road that sits on the other side of the railroad tracks. And that's the only thing out there. The rest of it's all industrial area that has basically nothing there.
Well, number 5 would also encompass all the apartment complex on
Yeah,
the south side of
that's
Redfield
a
Boulevard.
heavy,
And the mobile home park
And the
too.
mobile home parks there along 20th.
yeah, that's what I was gonna see, if it's 15th Street and catches that, the Ramones, the apartments,
Yeah, it does.
all that area, and then all the trailer parks on the south side of Rosen Boulevard.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, because the population density will be I would say about an inch on that map below Rosen Boulevard. So that's where the most of the population is going to be out of that whole area.
So each area on average has about 4,000 residents, right?
The what?
Each area has about 4,000 residents, is that right, Justin?
That sounds about right, yes.
Okay, so this is, oh my God, there's no,
Next one.
the next one, okay. Okay, thank you. All right.
I'm just here for holidays. Just to say, so I would.
There's nobody and we need to fix this so that it meets in area 5 and maybe
Eventually, we'll be brand new. We'll be a brand new.
That wouldn't work.
When-
No, you have to go north.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we'd have to go north. But then that singles. It works for everybody but you.
Actually, it puts
I think it does.
two in,
Area 3,
under 2.
2 of them?
No.
No, 1, I think. Yeah, this one. You're the problem.
I'm only.
We gotta fix it. Dr. Levitt, when I'm looking at the Yelp map now, and most of it I kind of like, but I'm wondering what we can do in Area 5 to bring Area 5, part of it
Can we take,
little more
can we take
north?
area 5 to like 45th?
Can we
Is there
what?
gonna-
Can we do what, Justin?
I'm saying take it to 45th or whatever, area 5 instead of to 65th. Shorten that up some, because they're gonna be developing all those new homes right there.
They do have plans to
They
develop
do.
Not a bad idea.
north of.
They have all those new homes planning
500,
development
600
on
homes.
about 40th and Imperial and a little north of Imperial on that area.
And you wanna take it all the way north of Rosemont Boulevard?
No, I'm just thinking.
No, he's just saying
No.
shift it over
Just
from the boundary
basically
at
turn pink.
65th to take it to 45th Street.
Yeah, if you just take
Or take,
extend the pink number 1 off to 45th, basically.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
And how far north would you go?
I honestly, I'd probably keep the line where it's at. I don't think number 4 is really, or map number 5 is gaining that much. Anything west of 45th, or even like 50th, if you wanted, roundabout.
Okay.
But
Does the
there's a lot of-
census geography allow that, Dr. Levitt, to move 5 north along 40th and north and west over to 50th? Does the geography allow that?
So we could definitely have some flexibility between 1 and 5 in that area. Remember that if we add that to 5, at some point we will start having to take out along the western end of 5. I just wanted to make sure that whatever the proposed school site was, that for the new elementary school, that it stays in area 5. That was kind of the idea of taking area 5 south of the freeway in the first place, kind of around.
South
So-
of Holiday, you mean, right?
Yeah, so depending on how far back, I want to make sure that that site remains in area 5.
okay, I got,
But we can do that. We definitely have some flexibility to look into that,
yeah.
To do that.
I'm just looking at.
especially if we go up to Astoria, for example, rather than all the way up to Rosamond.
Well, I was just looking at the population areas. To give the area 5 a little more population, if you took area 5, went to 45th Street, went straight north of Rosemont Boulevard, and gave it that little jog that you have on
We could do
40th.
that.
That would give area 5 a little more population, and then take 65th off to 60th and go straight south. That would center the populations more, because there's very little bit of population from 60th to 65th. from Holiday to Rosen Boulevard. But there is a heavier population in the 40th to 45th, because that's where they're doing all the new speculation for the housing tracts.
Right, so everything south of Holiday, technically, eventually we'll have more homes there.
Right.
We can certainly do that and bring you a revised version of this for next time.
Okay.
Sounds great.
That would be great.
Now, I have a question for you, Justin, as far as in Area 4, you're kind of breaking up a community there, just north of Roseman Boulevard and west of United. That's still part of that's been a community for quite a while, at least 35 years. Is there some play in that to, maybe United would be the break?
No, we would love to just create a trustee area that was just north of Rosamond from the freeway all the way to the western end of the district or eastern end of the district. Unfortunately, that is well over the ideal population deviation. It's about a 10-15% deviation alone for trustee area 4. So the bottom line is something has to cross over, either, generally speaking, has to be Rosamond, because that area kind of right along 14, right between 14 and Sierra Highway, that is our most heavily Latino neighborhood in the whole district. And where do we cross to try to avoid dividing a neighborhood? We have one census block that kind of wraps around all the way from Sierra Highway to along that Rosamond, the red line, which is the Rosamond community border. And that really, I know that was something we didn't want to do, but it was a challenge that we had to for population balancing reasons.
Okay. I'm just, curious because you may get some pushback from that community. I don't know. Just wanted to point that out to you.
Well,
I completely understand, and if we didn't have the deviation to work with, we certainly wouldn't have drawn it that way. There are actually 0 people kind of west of the city border, east of the city, or the Rosamond border. So that doesn't even really help us if we move that population. And it's just somewhere it has to cross Rosamond. Area 5 has to cross Rosamond into that area.
I think what Bob is trying to say is on this map, the United area, like United Street and north of Rosamond Boulevard, it looks like you kind of cut that neighborhood in half. Like typically in my head in the community, it's like, hey, United, I live off United, and everyone on that side of town is in the United area. It's just like this little corner of 5 and 4. It's just like where the map is drawn, you have United in there, but you don't have a majority of houses in that area. It's just a tiny little area that you cut off on the paper south of United. It's just that United Street. It's just like you kind of cut it off. And I think that little area right there, that little street area, you do kind of split that area.
So I think what number 4 needs to be cut down all the way,
A little shift for
all the way down to
Roseman Boulevard. Yeah.
That little pocket there, that doesn't make any sense.
I think because those apartments are down there, and then some of
So,
those houses.
the question would be, if that area is added into 4, what area gets taken out of 4? Because I can't add that area to 4 without going over our 10% deviation. In fact, getting nearly to a 20% deviation. So what areas come out of 4?
Because there's nothing over here. 'Cause it's just like, I think it's like, how those houses are like, yeah. Can you put that to the 5?
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and open it up to the public so the public can speak on this. I need a motion to go to recess to our public.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Led, seconded by
Right.
Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Ethel?
Student said yes.
754.
7:54.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, I do have a question for the gentleman on the screen. I don't know anything about you or where you're from. My name is Becky. I'm assistant principal at Roseman Elementary. Have you been to our community and driven around the neighborhoods and actually seen in person?
I actually have been to Rosamond twice before, not as part of this process, but the first time was on a long extended trip up to the Death Valley area. We drove through Rosamond on the way there. And the second time was for another district or another, when I was doing work in that part of the county. I haven't been since 2020, but I have been in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you drove through there, you didn't see any of Roseman. Anyway, we were just looking at another piece that, and I may be incorrect, but I'm trying to find where Hook is on the map. Is it
It looks like it's close to the yellow freeway.
right here?
Are you
Here
on
it is
yellow
right here.
map?
If you're on yellow map, you
Okay,
can see
right
Hook on, room number 4.
Yeah.
You see it on there, and then
Yeah.
it carries over.
there's Hook there,
Yeah.
and then there's Fernwood and United.
Oh, I see where Hook is.
Yeah. What? See, it's cutting out.
Yeah, that goes right through the middle of nowhere.
Right, it's like.
There is no division.
Right.
It's like it went to the back of the trailer park, and there is a piece of property that's owned by one gentleman that holds everything from, what is the street that's by your house?
If you were to take the map that you're working on right now,
Yeah,
right there, and then you were to put homes or like a satellite view, I think you'd see what he's talking about.
Yeah, United.
Yeah, that's really weird on that left jog
Yeah.
right there. It just, talk about like
Oh, hey,
right across the street
you
from
got
each
the
other.
little area view for the house?
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, because it goes right through the middle of that yellow line that's in the,
Yeah,
now, if you did the yellow line just north of the, I guess that's our park.
Which street
Yeah.
is that yellow line going down when it?
That looks like it's going right through Heatherfield.
Is that line on Heather?
It is. It is. It's right through Heatherfield.
That's right through the middle of the neighborhood.
yeah.
Is the fault there? Because like, those
Yeah,
streets on
there's also,
Heatherfield,
yeah,
That's where
those
the fault
streets are
is.
so long. Yeah, or not the streets, the yards are so long.
because of earthquake faults.
Yeah.
Mhm. I guess that makes sense why it's there.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out why that section.
I guess that makes sense.
He's trying to balance population.
Well, I know.
Well, no, yeah, we
It's the
understand.
population and the ethnic background of that area.
So if we need more on 5, we can just extend 5 just around that little
Well-
loop off of 40th there.
I mean,
Get 100 homes
technically-
there.
Well, that's what I was talking about. That would,
Where that street is, right there for 4, I think that's kind of fine. I think what we need to shift is 5, where this line is, from 65th to
see,
I say move it back to like 45th.
45th. We
this
need to-
is what I was talking to. Add this area to 5
Mhm.
and get rid of this area in 5
Mhm.
And turn it to 1.
and turn it into 1.
Can I see that real quick? I just,
Send Justin the map.
Yeah.
We get rid of this and then add this.
right here. So you'd actually have 40 over. to be part of, right
Right.
here. So that-
Yes.
Marguerite, how do you want for me to, and Dr. Levitt, for me to make sure that some of the suggestions they're making, make it to you before next Wednesday, because it might be hard for me to describe what they're thinking here.
Well, in order, we can certainly consider the yellow map on the 17th, and you have another hearing on the 14th.
Okay.
So we can have a modified yellow on the 14th. I see this area that you're very concerned about, and Dr. Levitt is working on demonstrating here where the issues are and precisely where the boundaries are. We can bring back the modified yellow on the 14th of January. Alternatively, we can call a special meeting between the 17th and January 14th to look at a modified yellow. It's sounding to me like the board feels that maybe the most workable map is the yellow. I don't know. We haven't spent any time on the other three maps.
Well, yeah, the other ones are,
But that's up to the board.
yeah, they're, the other.
But if we're gonna make changes, the changes have to be posted 7 days ahead of time.
Right. Yeah, we were just wondering because that cut right through a neighborhood.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask a question to kind of, Justin, if you move the map so that I can see, that. Could we bring that pink area now back into 4 and maybe lose the area west of Sierra Highway to, what would that be, to 3? Or is that gonna not be feasible? So that we unite that area, and you Sierra Highway there. Yeah, do you see the area I'm talking about? Yeah, right in there. Can that go into 3 so that we can unite that other area into 4? But that does split a neighborhood, it's very obvious. But I think we're gonna have to say, we're gonna split some neighborhood, which one makes more sense. How does that work, Justin? And what does it do to our Latino percentage in 4?
Moving this whole neighborhood between Sierra Highway and the frontage road would leave 4 8.5% under its ideal population and drops the Latino population below 50%.
Okay, and can we is that a single census block, the pink that you have there?
No, it's multiple blocks.
Multiple blocks. Can we pick through that area then? So that we can add people back into 4. There you go. And still have, I don't know if there's a mobile home and not kind of keep the areas of that together. Can we, it's not a good line, it's not the best line, but it might work from a neighborhood perspective.
This line along 20th Street, which becomes Desert Street up to Hillcrest, if we took that back into 4, that would take us right to our ideal population.
Okay, so I know there's just mobile home parks here, kind of sprinkled around.
Although I will remember, I say one more thing. It would move the elementary school into Area 3.
Oh.
We want to also move this block because that puts the elementary school in Area 4.
Okay, and that's got 0 population.
Yeah, fortunately, that block with the elementary school has 0 population.
It's not a pretty line, board members, but it does unite that community that you pointed out over there. That united area that is now united. It's not a pretty line in between, but it addresses the issue. And I don't know whether there is a neighborhood right there in the area where we have the jagged line now that is split, or if those are, they look like larger areas and maybe not as populated, but this would be a solution.
Yes, actually, that is a populated area in there. But the area that you took out and added to area 4 is not a highly populated area other than, or not added to the, did you add that to 4? Oh, you took it away
Yeah,
from
add
4.
that back to 4, yes.
You took it away from 4, but added the other side of it, correct? The
Yeah.
other neighborhood, okay.
Now that line's straight now along,
Yeah,
Area 4 would be the area highlighted in green.
okay,
It would reunite the area around United Street
okay.
and divide the area between the freeway and Sierra.
Okay, so then, you added to 3. So if you wanted to add more area to, number 5, which lost that section, you go to, is it 45th Street?
Well, and I think we'd have to start by removing some areas from 3, which would be fairly straightforward. This little area, kind of the freeway in Rosamond Southwest.
Yeah.
We could add that to 5
Okay,
pretty easily.
and then also go over to, see that, green line all the way out, that's Rosamond Boulevard, right?
yeah.
So the Rosamond, yeah.
Okay. Take it out past, area 2. And
Yes.
that
Yeah, I haven't touched that area yet.
boot looking like thing right there. Add that to, area 5. Because that's gonna be a populated area. That's a good population area. And eventually that top piece will also be a higher population eventually, not now, but it will be. Because there's also another proposal.
Well, just
Yeah, just go, just.
40th to 45th from Rosamond to Holiday, we're adding to 5.
To number,
What does that do, Justin? If we do that, what happens to our population?
okay, now you take,
Well, I still have to play with District 3 because we need to balance the map a little bit to make sure 3's numbers work.
okay,
How, are we underpopulated on 3 or what?
Yeah.
you are?
Remove
but-
that, what is the boundary there, the western boundary? Oh, but we have some neighborhoods in there.
Yeah, so I would propose to move 3 a little bit farther north, just to take in, I guess there's not really much population there, but,
They could take it all the way. Avenue, or to-
just trying to,
If you took 3,
north of area 2.
okay. No, because you said you had to add more to area 3?
Yeah,
If you took 3, yeah, you could add that up there.
yeah. I'm just trying to, yeah.
Okay,
What's your population there?
I don't think it's that great.
Yeah, 3 is at -4 and 4.6 right now.
So if you,
So,
if you go all the way up to the.
but I would just
right there,
maybe take it up to the northern end of the district here. But, most of,
Okay,
anything you do live, just kind of playing around with it. You can take it up to the northern end of the district there, for example, create something a little bit more like this.
Yeah, but, and Justin, and couldn't you also, that, there was a couple of census blocks you took out, south of Rosamond. Is that one big block in there? yeah, some of that could go.
No, this is one big 500-person block that kind of circles around along the freeway between Marie Street and Rosamond.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a,
So, and I think that adding that to 5 is kind of a natural
Okay,
leap.
right. No.
But this for 3 would work, and then we could just
And 2 has perfect population, right?
right.
Wow.
And so does 4 with this configuration. We take that
4,
back
yeah.
to,
Aren't we over on deviation? Look at 1 and 5. Are those both positive? Aren't we almost 13 deviation here?
well, we're not finished balancing yet.
Okay, all righty.
We got to add that into 1, you know.
Because we got to get off at 65th. If that's not a recognizable
Yeah.
boundary, we got
We're
to.
moving that to 60th, till the holiday.
the 60th or 50th?
50th would be, honestly.
Then the 50th.
That makes it real compact. And is that one big census block along?
There, we could take it back to 50th, and then we end up with a deviation of, what, 3 1/4?
Okay. It's a lot better.
That's nice deviation.
So this map would be about 3 1/4. Let me color in the districts so we can see them a little more clearly.
A lot better.
Can you make 2 a different color? I guess that's okay.
I'm just gonna get rid of this so we can see the different colors more clearly.
Oh, there you go.
So,
That makes more sense. to be
It
honest.
does. Because it actually uses natural boundaries.
so that would be a low population deviation, and reunite that community that we're talking about in area 4.
Yes.
And does what we want with areas 5 and 1 as well. So we can prep this tonight, get it posted tonight. Can we, Marguerite, get this posted tonight?
Yeah, we might have to delay our hearing a little bit on, what do we have on time? 8 o'clock, public hearing on the 17th, around 8 o'clock.
Alma, would you, if we get the maps to you, this new map to you, would you be able to post it on the website tonight?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll call it yellow 2, and we'll have 2 yellow maps to talk
I have
about.
2 yellow maps out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
This turned out pretty good. Does the board want Justin to pull up any other maps that you want to maybe make changes to? This was a very positive exercise, I think.
Yeah.
Let's rock with this one and let's bring it
I
back.
think we're pretty much.
Great
on
job,
I
Justin.
think based on the
Great job,
community's,
boy.
It's
feedback and
just
everything like
a
that.
very positive exercise.
Yeah.
that. I think the community.
Yeah, and thank you for going into so much detail as we talked, because, a lot of boards just say, oh, make changes, and, and they can't decide what they want to change, and we're left to guess. But because we're kind of going through this area by area, I think we arrived at something that is better.
Well, it takes care of a serious community concern. And I like the sharing of the rural areas, and not one trustee has the full burden of that area. I mean, it's hard to get out there. It's a huge district. At the pleasure of the board, though, do you want to fool around with any other maps? You don't have to, but
This is, we worked it.
We
I think we got it.
you think we like it? All
The maps on
right.
top actually look pretty good.
If you could get this posted and
Yeah, I will get this to Alma and our staff tonight as soon as we're finished with the meeting.
Okay, let's do it.
One thing for Mark and Marguerite, I know you've got a planned meeting for the 14th of January. I will not be able to be at that meeting. We found out through the legal symposium that we had at CSBA. I cannot participate. I can Zoom in. I just cannot participate. I will be out of the area.
Oh,
Okay, well, we could, where are you gonna be? We could do a traditional teleconferencing, where you'd have to post the agenda at that location, we'd have to put it on that address on the agenda. I mean, another idea is, Marguerite, we could still change the date on the
Yeah.
14th.
14th, we've got so much room between the 17th and the 14th, yeah.
So if there's a better date, the 90th day from the resolution is January 20th. So that is our drop dead date of making the decision.
But we could do that meeting a week early instead of the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
So if I just picked the 14th when I drafted the dates of the resolution, looking at your calendar, what I had, but if the board has a better date, in January, let us know next week.
Okay,
No, not January.
no, because we don't have the timeline.
I'm not available.
Are you going away?
The first week, I'm not back until the January 10th.
Okay, but is everybody here January 19th? Would January 19th, Monday work, Attorney Pafford?
That is, but I just don't know if you guys are gonna be around that's a holiday on the 19th, but we can still do it on the 19th.
Martin Luther King.
Okay,
We do.
who can make it on the 19th?
Well, we got staff here.
Okay, let's figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Well,
So let's just keep it as is, I guess, basically.
the answer is yes, I can do it by phone or I can do it, on my phone.
You'll be there, you just can't vote. If
I
you're-
just not gonna be
There are
able to
certain
vote.
requirements you have to do for a teleconferencing, again, you have to post that agenda at that location where you're gonna be, we have to put that address on the agenda.
Yep.
We have to put special language that it has to be open to the public, that location.
I've done that before.
So if we meet those requirements, you could teleconference in so long as the majority of the board is
That's why I can do it.
at the school site.
Yeah, so the majority of the board will be here. Unfortunately, Bob won't.
I could still, you can still call in and as you said,
You could
I
still
could
be
post
there.
it.
You just can't.
I could still put, because, it's a hotel room. I can post it anywhere, so.
He's gonna be out of the
Open
country.
your front door.
I'm gonna be out of country.
You just have to post the agenda at that location.
No, that can be done.
Even if he's out of the country, he has to, it's
Yes.
okay?
Out of the country, as long as it's accessible to the public where you're gonna be.
It is, it's a public place. I might have a few locals show up, but yeah, that was neither here nor there, I'm joking. Yeah, we can still do it. We'll just have to figure it out.
I don't know what you think, Marguerite, about doing it on the 20th, if that's cutting it too close.
Well, it is cutting it close. That is our deadline. The thing I don't like about the 19th is if the public is off, getting them, making it convenient to have it on a holiday is tough. What about Trustee Vincelet, how long will you be out of town?
From the 10th through the 17th.
Did you hear that, Marguerite?
When to when?
10th,
From the
When-
10th
when?
of January through the 17th. I come back on the 17th
If you want to be involved, just cancel it.
of January.
And when do you leave?
The 10th.
What's the day you leave?
The 10th.
the 10th of January.
Well, we could do it sometime the week of January 5th.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
Because he's not here.
So
So-
it's,
Oh,
yeah, I
So,
think,
it's the final hearing.
I think Mark, let's do it on the 20th and I can write what's his name, Goldman?
Goodman, yeah.
Goodman. And then let him know we need an extra day, or just say, let him know that we're gonna be finishing up on the exact day. And we'll let him know if anything, if there's a suggestion that we might need an extra week. But I'll let him know that.
Okay, because I would rather have all 5 of you in the same room than try to mess around with teleconferencing, especially if it's out of the country.
And with the time change and, yeah.
A quick question, can it be passed with 4 members?
Yes.
Then,
But you need the majority.
which would be at least 3, and we'll have 4 here. So
Oh,
if he
yes.
tells us that it's okay to vote that way, or tells me at least, because only 2 of us can know about it.
Yeah.
Then we can pass whatever we need to pass or not, right?
But you can't vote for it.
On the
No, I
you can
cannot
do it
vote
on the
for it.
14th with 4 members.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Perfect.
We'll do it on the 14th.
We're keeping the 14.
Mark, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, if Trustee Vinciletti, if you're okay with that and not want to be in there, in the room discussing it, because there will be discussion on sequencing of elections that needs to get decided.
Yeah.
So that's another little wrinkle that I think it's best to have all 5. So my personal recommendation is to have Marguerite contact Attorney Goodman, tell him we're going to do it on the 20th, and ask for the extension, of a week if needed. But hopefully we could get everything wrapped up on the 20th. But then, again, I'm here for the pleasure of the board. That is my recommendation, however, is to move it to the 20th.
Okay, yeah, we can.
And I understand.
If we can't, we can still do it on the 14th.
Let's, Marguerite,
And
proceed
we'll
with-
know, Marguerite will be able to reach out to Mr. Goodman and have some,
Do it right away.
yes, so we will know if it's possible.
Okay,
Okay.
Sorry to put a wrinkle in that.
Any
but-
other
okay.
public?
is there more public
No.
comments?
Yeah, you want to
Anybody?
move to go
I
into
see. Yeah, we move to go back
Go
to
back
the
Who made the motion?
motion to close.
Who?
Bob.
Second.
Motion by Vince Lett, seconded by Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Alma, look for the map from Justin, and get that posted right away, please. And then we will see everybody in a week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
That just cost us $3,000.
Yes.
board discussion regarding the, we just did that.
Yes, please.
Okay. Reports and communication. Antelope Valley Press Christmas Design Contest Winners Organization.
Yes, I believe we are one winner who was here left.
I believe she left.
She did leave,
Yeah,
I
that's
understand. But I do wanna,
Let's take Dollar Journey anyways.
I do wanna announce, this is a Christmas design contest from, generated by the Antelope Valley Press. Tropico had 2 winners out of this contest. An 8th grader by the name of Adriana Perez and a 6th grader who was here this evening. I'm so sorry that she had to leave, but Kayla Zapata Escoto. So congratulations to the 2 Tropico students.
Wow.
Yes. And
This is Adriana.
I've said it over and over. Joshua, please make sure these students are, and perhaps another time we could get them both here on, maybe not as, I don't want to say crazy, busy of a night as tonight is, but every time, I say this over and over, every time our Roseman, our Southern Kern students compete in an art contest,
It
we
is.
just
Yeah.
We take all kinds of prizes. So Adriana's teacher is Mr. Ardell de la Luna at Tropico, and Kayla's teacher is Miss Allison Barkus. So thank you to the teachers as well as to our Tropico students. Congratulations.
Very good talent.
Very good.
It's a Christmas.
You know,
No RTA and no CSEA. Student board member.
At TMS, they had a great turnout for the snowball dance on Friday, and then a good turnout for Saturday school as well. And the cadet corps participated in a parade on Saturday with 55 cadets. And then the high school has a winter ball this Saturday, and winter sports also starts their league this week and next week. That's all I have.
Okay. Does Tropico have a concert coming up?
Yes, tomorrow, well, yesterday we had our orchestra and choir concert, and then tomorrow at 7 p.m. we have our band concert, which will be held in the cafeteria / multi-purpose space.
Tomorrow at 7?
Tomorrow at 7, yes.
Okay. CDO, Mr. Irving.
Alrighty, updates on the construction front, we're still continuing with TMS, West Park, all buildings have been craned in as of last weekend. So the real fun of getting buildings connected and landscaping and looking more and more like a complete picture as opposed to piles of dirt. Has begun, so it's quickly starting to look like something. It's always exciting. First interim presentation at the next board meeting, because it is somehow in the middle of December already. And that is it for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Assistant Superintendent of Instruction and Curriculum, Dr. Mendez.
Good evening to everyone that joins us in person, also online. Congratulations to the students on their recognitions there for the art that they displayed and won there. They had a spelling bee at the elementary. They're still working on Tropical Middle School, but they did have 5th grade student win for West Park. They don't have a district-wide one in the future, but the 5th grade student at West Park won that spelling bee, and then they're currently reviewing the results. Mr. Wing for Roseman Elementary winner.
She won last year too, I think 4th grade, she was first. So 2 years in a row.
No, 2 years in a row. Yeah. Yeah, so that's update on spelling bee. We've been working with the elementary school math adoption committee, reviewing curricula, and then we're going to be narrowing that down to a few curricula to pilot in the spring for math. So we have teachers from West Park Elementary, teachers from Roseman Elementary, and then we're outreaching to alternative education, since we offer 4th and 5th there as well. So that's something that we're currently working on in progress. Dr. Fisher is going to be here on Monday, December 15th for a school visit, secondary schools. So we'll be visiting school sites. He'll also stop by to meet with he'll stop by the district office for a meeting to share some highlights and next steps. We had a DAC meeting on a district advisory council meeting on the 9th. We talked about LCAP. We had some action items that were shared with DAC to get some input. Highlights and reports were shared out as well. And then tomorrow we're going to have a meeting, standards-based grading committee meeting with Ken O'Connor and standards-based grading committee. So we'll be continuing to collaborate on next steps And that is the report.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent of Special Education and People Personnel, Ms. Taylor.
Hello, everybody. I also want to congratulate our winners. I'm sad they had to leave. Their pictures were beautiful. In our department, we submitted the final portion of our SIM plan, and the state notified us this week that they have accepted it and approved it and gave us high accolades for our hard work on it. And other than that, we're just kind of trying to finish everything up before the end of our semester.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Leanne Vargas.
Good evening, everyone. I had the opportunity to go to West Park today and be a judge for the spelling bee, so that was a lot of fun. It went 10 rounds, so they have a lot of good spellers. So yeah, so that was a lot of fun this morning. Our calendar committee, we're getting those assembled. CSEA and RTA is they are putting together the people that will be their representatives. Our first meeting is going to be January 21st. And then I also scheduled one for February 5th because everybody's, the rooms book up really fast and then I have a meeting, so scheduled a couple. So first we'll work on the 26, 27, get that one approved. And then we've always talked about doing, 2 years in advance. So I do have a 27, 28 calendar that, so we'll get the 26, 27 approved first and then work on the one for 27, 28. And that is it for me.
Thank you. Superintendent Gaines.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I'll talk quickly. I want to say good evening to everyone here. Thank you for being here. And also thank our parents who are joining us from home. I want to begin this evening by wishing Mr. Gutierrez a happy birthday. It is today, so probably not everybody knows it, but today is his, I'm not gonna know what number, so I'll just say his 45th birthday. I think I may be off, maybe not, I'm not sure. So happy birthday, Mario, from everybody. Again, I don't wanna be redundant, but our students in art are phenomenal. Doesn't matter whether it's Tropico, the high school, our elementary, they just always are winners. And it's just so great to see. It's very hard to be humble every time we compete in an art contest because we usually always win. So I'm so excited about that. I want to announce that on January 24th, at 6 p.m. in our beautiful new cafeteria, Roseman will be having its very first inaugural Athletic Hall of Fame. This will be at 6 p.m. in the evening. Tickets are now on sale. Mr. Irving is in charge of all the ticket sales, and he's taking cash only. And everybody who comes, we welcome everybody to come, but you have to have a ticket, including yours truly here. Here are our first 5 Hall of Fame winners, and I didn't select them. A committee selected them. Hopefully some of these names will ring a bell to you. Jim Johnson, Reggie Graves, Mike Cass, Mark Hartman, and Alyssa Nelson. Those are the first 5 Hall of Fame winners who will be recognized that night. We have a keynote speaker, Mr. Newton Chalette will be here at Roseman High, and he will be the keynote speaker. If you know much about sports in the Antelope Valley, you would recognize the name Newton Chalette for sure. So tickets are now on sale in the business office. Everybody head there tomorrow and get your ticket so that you're assured a ticket. Let's see, before I get on to my last thing. I want to say thank you to the West Park families because over the weekend, as we've heard, the 5 buildings, or I think 2 were left to be craned in this past weekend. And I was told that it took it was so quick, it was unbelievable.
She said it was like 6 minutes.
6 minutes and they were on the ground from being picked up and moved and boom, 6 minutes, 2 buildings. So, but I know that the neighborhood has had a lot of noise and I so appreciate the West Park community for their patience and their tolerance of that. But they're going to have 10 new classrooms and 5 new buildings and a new parking lot. So hopefully in the end, they'll forgive us for the noise they encountered this past weekend. Miss Taylor and I hosted a meeting with all of our SST coordinators from all the sites. We went around the room and let each one of them talk about the work they're doing at their site to recognize and to provide interventions for our most at-risk students and our students who are really, really 2 to 3 grade levels behind. It's a larger number than we want to believe, especially in some areas, but they are doing the work and it was wonderful to see them, excited. Every single one, I'm very excited about what they're doing. So I just wanted to let you know that. And also, I want to bring up that, I'm gonna get my glasses on or I'll miss something here. On October 11, 2025, Assembly Bill, Governor Newsom passed Assembly Bill 1390, which is the Public School Board Compensation Bill. I want you to understand that the school board compensation has not been increased the limits have not been increased for 40 years. And as you know what small amounts that you get. And so October 11th, the governor said he gave boundaries, guidelines. If you have this many students, this is how much the board could be receiving. And as obviously the more students in your school district, the larger amount. Robert and I were laughing because the LA County, an exuberant amount. But before I tell you what I plan to do, board members, I want the public to understand. I don't think everybody really gets it when we talk about the amount of work that the 5 people sitting up here do. I'm a board member and I have 1 board meeting a month. Pretty much. The only time I'm really impacted is if it's graduation time, then I have 20 graduations to go to. But they are here 2 board meetings a month, and sometimes there's an extra one. They see all expulsion candidates. They see all reinstatement candidates. Each one of the 5 of them serves on 2 committees. One of the committees meets every single Monday for sometimes 3 to 4 hours, of which 2 of them sit on that. And they visit schools, they attend student performances, they do a lot of work as a board member. So I wanted you guys to know that on next Wednesday, you have to approve this, but I sure hope you do. I will be bringing forth an action item to increase your board stipend. You will have a choice, benefits or the stipend. That is your decision, not mine. I'm bringing forth an action item on Wednesday to increase your stipend to $800 a month, effective January 1st, 2026. So that will be on the board next week. It's up to you guys what you do from there. But I hope you will truly consider it, because even though I want to say that's not the max, I could have gone higher, but I'm kind of giving you a little room to grow over the years. But I'm just truly grateful I'm not making a political statement, so let me say that. I'm just truly grateful that this governor saw the need to do that, because where you've been for the past, I don't know how many years, even before I came here 7 years ago, is unheard of. So that will be on the board agenda next week as an action item. And I will not need to explain anything more unless you have questions. Any questions now, board?
No.
Okay, and yeah, I think other than that, I'm gonna wish everybody a happy holiday. I'm gonna wish everybody a happy holiday, even though we're not quite there yet, next week as well. We're getting close, so thank you. Yeah, attendance. Okay. All right. Best Elementary. And this school went up 0.06%, not much. But going up is always good. They have 94.01% attendance. Not bad. Not bad for the month of November. The big question is, can we hold that in December? So schools, whatever you're doing now, continue, drill hard into the parents, making them realize having their child in school is critical. So West Park Elementary. You should charge your 10 cents every time.
Should be raised by then.
I would be, gosh. All right, and my best secondary school, who not quite, and I do want to say to the best secondary school, your competition is like right there. So keep doing what you're doing, but I want you to know that your competition's right on your tail. Best secondary school, Tropico Middle School. But Roseman High is moving on up. So
Yeah, but we will not wish them well.
we will not. Thank you. I know you're focusing a lot on attendance,
Thank you.
so keep up the great work. And the most improved, they're not here this evening. Yeah, maybe someone's here. They are the most improved with a 1.93% increase is Rare Earth Continuation High School. Come on up. Principal's not here this evening, but I know you'll deliver it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, I accept it. Thank you.
Yes.
So much.
Okay.
Okay, board member communications. Justin.
Had a great conference last week. Talked to some new vendors. Hopefully we can look into getting some metal detectors coming into some of our campuses and bag scanners. That's all I really got for that.
So thank you all for joining us and staying put, and your patience for the presentation of the trustee maps. I appreciate it. Congratulations to the two winners. It was just one winner that was here this evening, right?
Yeah.
We had to leave? Okay.
Yes.
The work was great, and I'm glad that they were here to,
I'm gonna give them both a shout out on announcements tomorrow. too.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. That's pretty much it, and I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving break, even though we're coming back up on another road. Almost there.
Almost there.
So,
Me. Hey guys. Thank you guys for being here. I did attend the conference as well. I feel like I learned some new things, and I get freshened up on some things, and I meet some other board members, and it's a good time. I did want to say that on Friday at West Park, it's a cookie decorating event for the PTA and also a meeting. So come on out, woohoo. And then next week, they're doing the holiday gift shop. So kids, send your kids with a couple of dollars so they can get gifts for the family. and do all that. Other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Bob?
Well, first of all, thank everybody for coming and for tuning in. Congratulations to the art winners on both. We've had a lot of talent with art in this district, and I'm glad to see that we are moving to great strides. I'm hoping to try to make that concert tomorrow night for Tropico. I too went to the CSBA, met a lot of different folks. Had a meeting with state CIF director. We're trying to see if we can get him to come down and visit this area and let us know what's going on in the CIF area. And back on what Justin said, I was informed that there is a what do you call it?
It's a grant.
A grant available to get, to purchase the detectors. I know they work because I know the Annabelle Valley Union High School District has them. And we had a long discussion one night about kids trying to avoid them. Other than that, that's it for me. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, everybody, for staying up late and dealing with our meeting. Thank you for everybody who's online. Congratulations to our two winners for the art contest. I also attended the conference, and at one of the little, I guess you'd call them get-togethers, I was talking to another board member, and they were saying that they were really excited that they had an 85% attendance rate. And I'm thinking to myself, we got it. So thank you for all your guys' work to make sure that our attendance stays up. And then another one piped up and says, well, if I can get 40% of my kids at school, I'm happy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. I was shocked at that one. And our graduation rate is way higher than a lot of schools that I talked to at the conference, because I was like shocked at, what are you talking about? And it's like, yeah, we can't get the kids to come to school. And our graduation rates equal what we've got, in school. So thank you for making sure the kids are there, and our graduation rate is well reflected. So
Yes. I was going to say also, I see the emails from Casey. Rest of you should be doing the same thing she's doing on your attendance. She's out there putting out to parents, just about every week.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, I know, but it's noticed, just put you that way. That helps. So challenge to the rest of the schools.
and then next is the subcommittee meeting. I'll pipe in on that one. We've just got the rest of our buildings all set down at West Park. I've had a ton of phone calls about, it's like, what are all those buildings over at Tropico? Are they putting in more portables over there? It's like, no, they're brand new buildings that are going over at West Park. So yeah, for the last 2 weeks that they've been staging over there, I've been getting phone calls. And I go by there at least once a week to see how they're progressing with the construction. And me and Justin are every Monday spend a few hours dealing with the architects and the construction guys in Raleigh, guys everywhere on all our different projects. And so that updates you on what we've got going. We've got locker rooms that we're already starting to do the preliminary soil testing and all that stuff at the high school. We're hoping to get some equipment in there and working as soon as the kids are out of school. so they can start leveling and prepping for the groundwork. And because we are really, really pushing to try to have them done by the first of the year, for next year. So gives you a little update of some of the stuff that we got going. There's a lot of other stuff that we have in the pipes that we will bring forward when we have more information. Okay. Anybody else have any other projects? No?
No, I think you said it all.
Any comments from the public?
None.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on consent items A through M?
I didn't see any.
Board member, any comments? Nope.
Oh, I motion.
Second.
Okay. She motioned and Mr. Wright seconded. All in favor?
Aye. I'm gonna get it one of these days to do it quickly.
Request for proposal for Southern Kern Unified School District High School Data Infrastructure Project E funding for 26-27.
Yes,
Mr. Westbrook, please.
this is part of our annual E-rate project. Every 5 years, we have to do an E-rate RFP for our internet service provider, which is Spectrum. E-rate pays 90% of the cost of our internet and our wide area network. So we are putting this out to bid. I'll come back after the new year with the winning bid for the board to approve.
Okay. Request for proposal for E-rate 29 for, is that the same thing pretty much?